Hello, Blarg here. Yesterday, HAYLEE/LUXYMOO did a broadcast to speak about her interactions with LAINEY and ONISION. These are the tweets leading up to the broadcast, followed by the full live stream. The chat screen is included. Enjoy.
Whether or not I should say something again, I ultimately decided to say something again. The last thing I really wanted to do was really throw myself back into it, but I recognize that there's strength in numbers, and I feel like if I have any kind of voice, I should use it to hopefully protect other girls from going through what I went through, what Billy went through, what Maya went through. And so I'm just here to kind of retell my story, not in a text, or not text, but not in a message that I put on lolcow or lolcow or whatever, not something that you can find on a random form, me in my own voice saying what happened. And it's still very hard to talk about because a part of me still feels for LAINEY, not in a romantic way, but on a person to person level. And it doesn't excuse their behavior and how they have kind of adopted some of Greg's manipulative language and the way that he talks to people. But at the same time, a part of me wonders what kind of person they would be right now had they not been, or if they wanted to get away or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. I was a fan of LAINEY for a very long time. I was never really a big fan of Greg. I knew of his presence online, but I didn't really start watching his videos until LAINEY showed up. Because I don't know, when LAINEY showed up, it was like, who's this? Who's this person? And seemed like a very cool person. And if you've ever had a chance to talk to LAINEY, you'll agree that there is this aesthetic about them that makes you want to, be close to them somehow. I was in the middle of kind of questioning my own sexuality around the time that LAINEY was coming out as bi. And I do identify as straight. Not that really matters now, but at the time LAINEY is to this day the first and only female that I ever had any kind of attraction to. And when they followed me and started talking to me, it was like a dream, because it was my idol, someone that I looked up to so much, and someone who I was looking to for guidance while I was questioning who I was talking to me, and then showed interest in me. And I felt, I don't know if it was that I had been just starstruck by my idol talking to me. I don't know to this day exactly how to say like what my feelings were, but at the time they felt very real for LAINEY. I had already had like this crush on them. And anyway, LAINEY asked me if I was interested in girls, and I said that I felt like I was heteroflexible and that I had a type. LAINEY said they didn't know if they were my type or not, and I said that they were, and things just kind of took off from there. I'm not going to talk too much about mine and LAINEY's conversations, because those, to this day, despite everything that happened, are conversations that I do hold near and dear, because they were good. They were the only good thing out of that entire situation. They were good conversations, and I need you guys to understand that, because that's why this is so hard, I think, for a lot of the girls to speak out, because LAINEY does have that part of themselves that's good. But Greg did insert himself pretty immediately into it and said that if I was not serious about LAINEY, to not lead them on. And in my mind, I wasn't. In my mind, I was like, of course not. Of course I wouldn't lead them on. You know, I already really liked LAINEY by that time. And I'm sorry, I'm getting very feeling very overwhelmed right now. Keep in mind, I can't stress this enough as well, that my involvement was no more than a week or a week and a half. And that's why I feel like this is so important, because just the little manipulation that I had experienced in that week and a half is so incredibly crazy, and it can happen to anybody. When Greg had inserted himself in and said about me not leading LAINEY on, I said, of course I wouldn't do that. I really care about LAINEY. And then me and Greg didn't really talk for, it was like a couple days. There was one part where LAINEY was talking about Billy to me and saying how Billy hurt them. And at the time, of course, since I'm talking to LAINEY and believing a lot of the things online that were said about Billy, I said, oh yeah, she totally fucked you over. And I said, I'm only interested in you, which LAINEY seemed to be very happy about, didn't have a problem with. But later that night, Greg had messaged me and kind of explained the dynamic of what the relationship was and how they wanted to be polyamorous. And so I said I wanted to try. And I even said in text that it was scary, because I didn't really know what I was getting into, but that I wanted to try for LAINEY, because at that point I had already felt such a connection to that person. And so he, kind of went away for a while. Me and LAINEY are talking again. And then one night, after doing extensive research on polyamorous relationships and what it meant to be in a polyamorous relationship, and I had decided that it wasn't something that was for me, which ultimately killed me, because I did feel at the time that my feelings for LAINEY were genuine, and I didn't want to mess that up, but I knew that I could not force myself to be in something that I didn't want to be in. And so when I came forward and I told LAINEY, that as much as I like them, I can't be in a polyamorous relationship with Greg, that I did not see Greg in that way. I sent this very long thing, which I'm going to go over some texts later on, not into, the stuff between me and LAINEY, but the stuff between me and Greg. I'm going to go into some of the things that I have not released, just to also kind of showcase what manipulation tactics he does use, and something to look out for if you are reached out to by these people. As I was saying, so Greg had messaged me instead of Lainey. Lainey didn't message me, but he said, I can actually pull up the conversation. Sorry, hold on. I said, this is what I said to Lainey when I was backing out of the relationship. I said, okay, I have to be honest with you. Just like you, I am honest, and I mean everything I say 100%. And I think you are one of the most attractive, kind, and just all around amazing person I've ever had the pleasure of getting to know. I've always had such a huge crush on you, and since getting to know you more on a personal level, my feelings for you have doubled. And this is why this is so hard. As much as I like you, I am not okay with being in a three-way relationship. When Greg messaged me, I told him I would try. I wanted to and had every intention to, and because I wanted to, I decided to look more into what it means to be in a three-way relationship. Since then, I started doing research on the pros and cons of a three-way relationship. I read blog posts of people in throuples, and I kept thinking, I can do this for Lainey. I like them so much, I want to do this for them. But the fact of the matter is that through my research and looking deep within myself, I've come to the realization that I can't. Greg is so great, don't get me wrong. I think you have a wonderful husband, but as much as I think he is great, I'm not interested in him like I am you. I don't see him the way I see you romantically, and I don't think I'll be able to. I do not judge those who choose this lifestyle. I think it's perfect if you have the right people, but I can't be that person for you guys. I'm not what you want because I want you. This hurts to say because even though it's been such a short time of us talking, I've enjoyed every little bit of it. I also don't want to stop talking to you, even if it's just as friends, which also hurts to say. I came to this conclusion tonight, which is why I wanted to tell you immediately. I wanted to do this for you, Lainey. I really, truly thought I could, and I hate that I can't be that person for you guys. I hope this doesn't make you hate me. So I had come to that realization. I was talking with my mom about it, and she kind of helped me write that well, she didn't help me write it. I wrote it, but she, had me add things here and there that she thought were good to put in, and just to get my point across of how I felt. Lainey didn't respond, but Greg did. And he says, this is Greg. Thanks for being honest. It's just the three-way thing, like you wouldn't want to be in a three-way relationship ever with anyone. Or sorry, I read that again. You're not into me, Greg. So it's just that it's me, and that is okay. Like we like who we like, and you do not like me. So okay. And that would have been fine had it ended there. I said, I think you're great. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like you. Heck, I like you a lot, just not in the same way. I don't think I can in the same way. As soon as I came to this realization, I wanted to talk about it immediately. He said, you like my personality a lot, then you're just not attracted to me. I said, yeah. And that doesn't mean I don't think you're not handsome. I think you're good looking, but there's a difference between physical attraction and thinking someone is handsome or good looking, I think. He said, I think about myself in your shoes, and I don't feel I would be saying the same thing, but maybe it's just a sign it's not meant to be. Thank you again for your honesty. Lainey has the phone now. I said, okay, Lainey, please say something. So that was kind of the end of that. I want to use the stream to fully address everything. So screenshots, things that were posted in regards to me, things that were speculated about me. I'm using this as my full disclosure to talk about everything. I was tweeting a lot in that time, and I'm really only talking about this because if anybody ends up looking it up later or whatever, I don't want a lot of the things I've said online to be misunderstood. So while all of this was going on, I was having a lot of issues at home. I was having a lot of issues in my personal life. And so a lot of my tweets kind of bled together with that. And they all got taken out of context and made me look like I was just obsessing over Lainey and Greg and being upset that things didn't work out. And I was more upset with myself and feeling like a piece of shit. So when all of that was going on, I felt like I needed to clear that up because there was a lot of them that were misunderstood. Yeah, taking everything out of context is their MO. It really is. In fact, the video that he made about me, which I am also going to go over a little bit he says at one point that I said that I thought they were both attractive multiple times. I never said I thought Greg was attractive. I said I thought he was handsome, which in my mind may be textbook definition. I'm wrong, but in my mind, that doesn't mean that I am physically attracted to that person. When I can think many people are handsome or good looking, it doesn't mean that I have a physical attraction to them. So that's, anyway. So after I was upset and tweeting, Greg messaged me and he said, "I'm sorry, you're so bummed. We are too." And I said that I had felt like an asshole with the way that I said it, like I was making it seem like it was all because of him was the reason why I didn't want to be involved. And I said, it's really the three-way relationship part. I can't do a three-way relationship. It's just something that's not for me. And at the time I genuinely wanted it to be for me, but it wasn't. He had made a comment about at least giving them a chance to like meet in person before making that realization or making that conclusion. And I said I had thought about that, but I don't. Why would that make sense? So I have these feelings of doubt, and then I go there and I meet their family and I form a bigger bond with them, and then I still say, no, I don't want to do this. That doesn't make any sense. That would have hurt everybody a lot worse. And to this day, I thank God that I didn't do that. I thank God after hearing Maya's story, Billy's story, Madison's, I am thanking the Lord that I never went there. Sorry, I'm going to read some comments because I need an intermission on talking about this, or I guess the storyline here. Greg has not contacted me since. He did send me a message request, but then never said anything. Thank you. My lipstick is popping. It's I think it's Tarte. He is a poop head. So to go back into the story, there was one point, if we're going to talk about like before everything went down, some warning signs that I saw that I ignored willfully. He had asked me at one point if I worked paycheck to paycheck, which struck me as off. So that leads me to believe that, you know, they might also look for people who are not necessarily financially stable on their own. I misunderstood the question at first and I said yes, because I thought he was asking if I made a paycheck. I was like, yes, I work, I make a paycheck. But then I realized the question was paycheck to paycheck. And I was like, oh, no, I save my money. Because we were talking about video games and Fallout, and if I was going to buy Fallout or something. So how did the manipulation start? So that's what I'll get into right now with the messages. And again, I'm sorry, guys. I'm shaking. I'm very nervous right now. In fact, before I do anything else, give me 1 second. Forgot I wanted to go private after the stream started. So the rest of the messages were, it was like talking in circles constantly, because I had said no. When it continued, let me find it. I'm sorry you're bummed. I'm sorry you're so bummed. We are too. I said, looking back on what I said, it seemed like it was just because of you, and that's not the case. I didn't want a three-way relationship either. I felt like an asshole, and I'm so sorry for the way it came across. He says, three-way relationships are awesome. They make you feel like you're part of something bigger and they make you feel like you're part of something bigger and you just feel stronger overall. That multiplayer video games are always better. That and multiplayer video games are always better. He said, there's a taboo factor. We just assume you didn't want to be a part of it because of your religion, which is a bad reason to avoid a great potential for happiness on awesome levels. So I did tell them up front that I was a Christian. Well, not up front. I told Lainey a little bit later on that I'm a Christian. He says, or I said, it sounded that way. It sounded amazing when you described it, but when I was digging deep within myself, I also realized I want what you have. I want a family and a happy marriage. While I'm a Christian, that did not play a factor in my decision making. I was basing everything off my own feelings about it. He said, is there something wrong with having a family with one father and two moms? So then also kind of hinting that, I could have kids. It would just be his kids. I said, well, no, but I didn't think I could. He said, I wouldn't want you to get into something that has a high risk of letting everyone else down, but the family is still possible with Lainey and the marriage. Well, is Lainey not worth it? And this is where, if you look back, Lainey had tweeted out, I guess I'm not worth it, guys, or something along those lines. Well, is Lainey not worth it? I said, it's not what I want, though. That's the problem, too. It sounds amazing if it's with the right person, and I wish I could be okay with being that person. Lainey is definitely worth it, but I have to think about what I want for myself, too. He says, if she was worth it, you'd be all for it because you would want it. Because, again, that is what being worth it means. But your position is clear. It's just odd you acted like it would work at first when you knew exactly what our intentions were before we all spoke in the first place. Because I changed my mind. I backed out because I changed my mind, and I am 100% allowed to change my mind if I am no longer comfortable with the idea of that kind of relationship. And for me to have been demonized by him going forward in this conversation and then had a video made about me because I was tricked by somebody with screenshots is fucked up. It's not right. Anyway. I said, because I thought I could do it. I truly thought I could and that I wanted it. I did. I swear I did. I wouldn't have continued talking to Lainey if I didn't, because that's what fucked up people do, is use people. And that wasn't what I was trying to do. That was never my intention. He says, okay, well, let's be clear. Lainey is not worth it to you. Otherwise, you would have moved forward, and that's what worth it means. So let's stop pretending. So this is where this is the manipulation coming in. If Lainey was worth it to you, you would do it. If Lainey was worth it, trying to manipulate me into feeling like shit because I didn't want to have sex with both of them at the same time, because I didn't want to be involved in that. He said, it's all okay, though, in the sense that we would not want you to be anything less than 100% in. I really believe you missed out, though. Maybe down the line you'll see that, but it will be very likely too late. But it will I think he was trying to say likely. He said very like to be too late. I don't know. He said, goodbye, HAYLEE. I said, you're right. If Lainey was worth it to me, I would go through with it. And while I'm not okay with going through with it, I don't want that to mean that I didn't have feelings for them, because I did. Very strong feelings. In the end, I had to be selfish with my feelings, though. This lifestyle isn't for everyone, which is why when I came to that conclusion last night, I wanted to tell you guys immediately. I hope you both don't hate me because of this, and I still support you both a ton. I'm sorry if I've caused a lot of pain. I'm sorry if I've caused pain. Thank you for your time, Greg. So even at this time, I was still supporting them and would have been open to friendship because of how much I idolized Lainey. Using his own spouse as a means for manipulation, disgusting. Yes, that's exactly what it is. This is the part where he says they don't remotely hate me. We're just bummed out that you chose a generic cookie cutter nuclear life over the awesome person she is, as the person you described to be handsome, whose personality you really liked. It just doesn't make sense. Turning away two people you really like for normality and the potential to hook up with some guy in a marriage that statistically is more likely to fail than succeed. If this is your gut talking, then go with your gut. But just know we do not all hate you. This is your life. You can do what you want. And you want what you want. So it's like telling me that It's my life and I can do what I want. But then he continues to keep going. And these conversations don't make me look good either. I'm very scared in talking to him because at this point I am remembering and realizing this guy makes videos about people. This guy, goes after people, and anything I could say could be used against me in a negative way. And so at this point, I'm still trying to be very calm. I'm still trying to be very kind. And at this point, I still really am feeling like shit. I said, it is my gut. Thank you for understanding. I wish you guys the best, and I truly hope you find someone amazing to bring into your family. Thanks, Greg. So then he says, well, I do think your gut tells you to do things not because they're necessarily right. So if he keeps going, not because they're necessarily right, but because they are what is meant for you in your life. I'm not sure why your gut told you before to pursue this relationship and is now telling you to not pursue it. Confusing as heck. But I support everyone doing what they feel is best for themselves so long as they're not hurting anyone, and you don't seem to be hurting anything but feelings to a small degree. So I support your decision as well. Not that you need it, just saying that there are no significant hard feelings. Good luck to you in your life, HAYLEE. I hope it's an awesome one. So then it's like, okay, now I feel like he's being nice again. I feel like he's being genuine and nice again, and it's all fine. And then he sent me a screenshot of the part where I was saying, when he first talked about the three-way relationship, I had said that I was going to trust my gut and go with hope for the best for everything. He said, I thanked him so much for understanding. I said, you both are very kind and honest people. He said, hey, now I'm not that kind, just to you and a select few other people. I said, it's still very appreciated considering I don't deserve it, because I really felt like I didn't deserve. Anyway. He said, you could have always met us first before you concluded it wasn't worth pursuing. It's funny to give up before you even really know the people that you're giving up on. I said, I thought about that, but then I thought if I did that, feelings would be hurt way worse than they already are if I still thought it wasn't for me. I didn't want it to feel like I was leading anybody on. Like I didn't want to show up, meet your family, create this bond, and then my feelings not change on the three-year relationship part of it all, thus letting you both down even more. He said, that's cute, but somewhat silly. You visiting as a friend risks nothing. So this is where he's offering friendship. When I first said that to LAINEY, I did bring up friendship. But then I had assumed, okay, that's not going to work. You visiting as a friend risks nothing. I said, you guys would accept me as a friend. He said, would you be willing to make a collab video with LAINEY on her channel? Then we could make you a business friend and all expenses would be tax deductible, equals not as big of a financial loss. The collab video would be something like this. And then he sent me a link to a video that LAINEY did with, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. She's really nice though. Starts with an M. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name. Everything is like, I said, if you guys wanted me to, then sure. Are you both okay with being friends with me? He said, yeah, friends until your gut or heart tells you otherwise, which may be never. And then I said, so you both will be okay if it's never. He said, if you think there is a chance you'll have a change of heart, then it's worth a shot. But if you've made up your mind and don't believe there's any chance, then LAINEY will probably think it isn't worth it to risk falling for you when there is no chance of return feelings. Like if you think meeting her could change things, you should visit. But if it winds up that you're not into it, then at least you tried and everyone is still fine. Basically, you should just be blunt, raw, and tell me the actual probability and we'll go from there. I said the probability is very slim because when I came to the conclusion that I did, it felt right to me. It felt like the right choice. Even though it was hard, the last thing I wanted to do was cause more pain. He said, this is where more manipulation comes in. Okay, what does your heart say? It seems like it may have gone cold to LAINEY, I mean. So now my heart's gone cold to LAINEY because I don't want to fly out there and say that I'm going to try to be a part of something or say that there's a possibility that my mind's going to change on it when I know that it's not going to change. So now my heart's cold. I'm a cold-hearted bitch. So I think my problem is I have a big ego about LAINEY. I think she's like the bee's knee, so anyone who doesn't fight to the death for her seems crazy to me. People are just different. I'm just really like, whoa, no way when you pulled out. He said, it's okay, HAYLEE. I'm giving up on you, or I'm giving up if you, sorry, he didn't say I'm giving up on you. He said, it's okay, I'm giving up if you are HAYLEE. I just love seeing LAINEY fully happy and being part of a trinity. She is bi, so the best of both worlds just seems awesome to see / experience with her. By the way, if the chances are being slim, say less than 25% chance, then we should not kid ourselves. But if it's more, then let's schedule your flight and I'll enjoy a couple days together as friends. So I then go into saying that I'm still not okay with it, that I'm not going to be okay with a relationship, that my mind is likely not going to change. So now he's asking about the percentage. What is LAINEY saying about all of this? LAINEY wasn't talking to me at this point, only Greg. I said, still, my gut also tells me you two are amazing people. If there's any way of saving some kind of friendship, I'm more than willing to be a part of that. But if there isn't, I completely understand why that would not be an option. And no, my heart is not cold to LAINEY. I still genuinely like them more than I would a friend. But I know that I shouldn't, because I can't be what you guys would want. So with some time, if LAINEY is willing, I would love to still have a positive part of their life. My heart says to do the right thing. The right thing is to not give even the slightest of hope that I could change my mind, because in doing so, I would bring more pain. I think LAINEY is deserving of so much more than what I could give because of what I personally want for my future. I think they deserve the world. So at this point, again, I am still feeling for LAINEY. I'm still like, I want the best for them at this time. I know I can't be that person, and I'm not going to kid myself, go there, do videos or anything that could lead them on. But yet I still got turned into someone who led them on, even though I clearly said and did everything possible to not do that. He says, well, the only thing you could not get with this is a government recognized marriage. Does that sound accurate? I said, I want one person. I want to have one person that's for me and only for me. And for me to be that only one for that person exclusively. Maybe that makes me selfish, but it's what I want for my future self. When I see my future, I see it with one person. I realized this last night. And like I said, I don't judge people who choose a 3-way relationship. I read some really good things about it, and it's okay for people who are, like you said, 100% in. But I know that I wouldn't be. I can't kid myself and think that I would be. I can't kid myself and think that I would be. I can't be dishonest with you guys and say that I can be. Like I said before, too, I wanted to try. That wasn't a lie. I had every intention at the time. When was this? This was 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago. Said, well, here's the thing. With that one person, you only get to experience a relationship at certain times, like when they're not around or working or on a trip or whatever. With 3, you have 3 total people who value / support / are there for each other. Part of why I enjoy a trinity with LAINEY is I can work, and I know she is getting the attention / love from someone I care about. When LAINEY goes to sleep, as I tend to stay up later, I am able to watch anime or whatever with the third part of the trinity and bond. Oh, my dog is joining in. With 2 people, you're not completely dependent on that one person. Whereas with 3, I mean, no room is built with 2 walls. They all have at least 3 to be a complete structure. I think there's a lot of beauty and strength that can offer. But what I'm saying is falling on deaf ears, I'm sure. Life experience, being able to compare a loving 2-way relationship to a loving 3, it takes time being there sometimes. Also, love is not exactly about owning someone. This made me mad. Love is not exactly about owning someone as you described. Love is about doing what is best for your loved ones and them doing what's best for you as well. Seeing LAINEY's love grow when there is a third person, seeing the strength it gave her was incredible. You have to not be so jealous or possessive when it comes to 3 people, though. Like, you kind of sound like you know. I don't remember this part. Wait, what? And you sound kind of like you know. You said it yourself. You want to basically own someone. So because I wanted to be monogamous, that means I want to own somebody. Still trying to push me into something I didn't want. He said just like that, or just that one person, and not allow them to share their love mutually with a third person. It's common, but pretty undeniably highly restrictive, kind of like a prison, a love prison. Your love is all mine, and if anyone else, no matter how much I like them, and even if I get to love from them, like them too, gets your love, I'm gonna freak kind of thing. So basically, to sum that little piece up, because it sounds a little confusing, is if you go and seek love from somebody else, the other person's gonna freak out about it. This is where I'm still kind of kissing his ass, because again, I'm scared. Is saying that's what makes you so great too. You want Lainey's happiness more than anything, but it's not for me. It's not what I want for myself. I want you guys to find someone who will fill you both with so much love and be there for you both equally. How many times at this point have I said that this isn't what I wanted? Is there a counter? Can there be a counter of how many times I was saying, no, this is not what I want? Anyway, sorry, I want you guys to find someone who will fill you both with so much love and be there for you both equally. I don't want to own someone. I don't want to be possessive over someone, but I want a relationship with one person that doesn't make me a bad person or like I'm trying to prison one person. It just means that I like the idea of cookie cutter. I don't think that's wrong with me. Many people have two-person relationships. Many people have multiple-person relationships. Neither are wrong. It's just what people want for themselves, which is why you deserve someone who is all in 100% without a single doubt. So Lainey in his eyes is a love prison because they want to be monogamous now. I don't know. This was 2 years ago. Opinions can change. I don't know if he's changed his mind on that. Lainey said in their stream the other day that Greg still talks about wanting a third. So I don't know if that's how he feels. He says, also, this is just my personal opinion, but giving and receiving love from two people you love at once is pretty close to bliss. Lainey and I looked at what we went through and clearly thought to ourselves, why does everyone not do this? Why did we not do this sooner? I hope you find that special person. Your future is likely lined with investing in one person only to be let down again and again, like mine once was. But this is your journey, and considering how cautious you are, maybe yours will be a lot less painful than mine was. After all, I did find Lainey, and that was when I was searching for that one person just like you. So then complimenting me again and saying, you know, it seems like he's being nice and on my side and, you know, encouraging me to have a good life, basically. I said, I am very cautious, maybe too cautious. Sometimes I go by my feelings, honestly. 2 years later, HAYLEE, to 2 years ago, HAYLEE, you were not cautious. You weren't. That's not being cautious. Anyway, I said, I'm sure I'll face many hardships in the future. I'm sure I'll get my heart broken, but I one day want to find someone who loves me as much as you love Lainey and love that person as much as Lainey loves you. What you have together is magical and almost fairy tale-like. Can someone shoot me? What you have together is magical and almost fairy tale-like. You're both so devoted to each other, or you're so devoted to each other's happiness and don't feel trapped or like you're being forced. It's genuine. It's beautiful how much you fight for their happiness. You really are a good person, Greg. I am going to shove a sock in my mouth. Says, but you don't know if I'm truly a good person because you never got to know me. Oh, got me there, Greggles. You got me there. He said, your actions tell me, your devotion tells me. Again, fucking terrified at this time. Said, we are defined all by our actions, not a few. My father did a lot of good things in his life. So this is where he talks about his dad being an accused predator. Ironic now that here we are talking about Greg. And I'm not saying Greg is definitely a predator. I'll say that right now. Greg is a predator, maybe not of children, but of women in general. He is a predator. This is predatory behavior. Trying to pressure somebody into a relationship that doesn't want to be in one is fucking predatory behavior. Trying to manipulate a young girl's mind to have sex with him and his wife is predatory behavior. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. It is. He disempowers you. He secretly boasts about his conquest. He's really attentive in the early stages. Oh, I'm sure. Says we have to invest in people we think will be around forever, not just randomly. Friends are more often than not come and go. Love lasts a lifetime. We gave you a good chance. You really did not give us a good chance. I think we'd rather invest in people who are willing to meet us halfway. Oh, wait, what? No, I missed something. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to get to the point here because I'm really sick of reading these. I have given somebody permission to release everything if absolute need be for record purposes or whatever, just to showcase manipulative behavior. But nothing that was done to me was illegal. I was of age, so I don't know what grounds or what standing my exact story is going to have. This may be doing nothing. This could very well do nothing for anybody. But if it does do something, then I feel good about it. I don't feel good about it, but I'm just going to start summarizing here. There's a part where I say that I'd still love to get to the chance to know them both because he was saying that I didn't get really a chance to know him. I said I would love the opportunity to still know you both, but aside from my own feelings, like you both on a friendly level as well. Again, I understand that if that isn't an option, I don't know where you two would stand on that notion. Though I hope you'd both still like to get to know me too. He said, we have to invest in people we think will be around forever, not just randomly friends. More often than not, come and go. Love lasts a lifetime. We gave you a good chance. You really did not give us a good chance. I think we'd rather invest in people who are willing to meet us halfway at least. Sounds rude, but that's how being honest is. I'm still happy to have talked to you. I basically, to summarize, say true friendship does last a lifetime. I said, I hope that they find somebody who's in it 100%, that they deserve nothing less. I said, if you two ever want to be friends, my door is always open. He's saying, I don't understand the value of friendship, clearly. I have a big family, so I have a support system there, and love/romance offers obvious improvements to one's life. But think about it, what could a friend you offer us that my family members or even my romantic partner could not? So my point is, why invest time in that? I said, I guess it depends on the way you look at it. It's always nice to grow that support system with genuine people who care, but it's okay. I'm still glad to talk to you both. So again, that should have been the end of it. That was on November 30th, 2016 at 4:22 p.m. November 30th, 2016 at 11:30 p.m. Lainey told me you are sad. Why? So this is where I was basically coming out with a ton of tweets that were all mixed together with stuff that was going on at home and with things that were going on with Lainey and Greg and how my personal feelings were on it. And keep in mind, again, when I'm tweeting this stuff out, I had no idea people knew that I was even involved. I had no idea that I didn't know there was a forum. I didn't know what LOLcow was or LOLcow or whatever. I didn't know those things. And I don't know if I already said that or not. Again, my brain is very all over the place right now. I didn't know those things existed. This is where a lot of my tweets were like, just seemed obsessive. He said, Lainey told me you are sad. Why? I basically say that I felt like I let them down, and that I didn't want Lainey to think that I led them on and that I was just emotional over the situation. He said, normally, if you're sad, that means something is wrong. So how do you make it right? Rereading these is making me want to throw myself off my balcony. So then I say, I want to apologize to them, but I don't want to bother them either. The last thing I wanted to do was cause any pain. Because around this time, this is also when Lainey was tweeting that they got played, that I played them because I changed my mind. I'm not a very good player. Yes, Lainey, does Lainey ever talk to you now? No. I will say this, because I did watch Lainey's stream the other day. I did email Lainey. It was right after their Me Too video, and I'm not going to get into like my whole Me Too story, but basically it was the exact same as Lainey's. And my mindset was I had spent so much time hating the situation, hating what happened, and still having that hurt for Lainey. And so when I saw that video, it kind of rekindled that little fire again, not for a romantic feelings wise, but that connection wise, that I felt the need to reach out and just say, I'm sorry for making everything public. When I did, I told them my story, which I don't know if I should have. Lainey never talked about what my story was, so I really appreciate that. I don't think that they would do that. But I did email Lainey and say that I was sorry for making everything public. And still to this day, I wish I hadn't made everything as public as I did the first time around, the way that it happened when I was tricked with doctored screenshots, which, by the way, if you are watching this, girl who tricked me with doctored screenshots, you kind of suck because you kind of fucked up my life for a few months there. So thanks. But I did email them. But that was the last really that we talked. They said, they responded by saying that they thanked me for saying what I said, and that was basically it. He's trying to use your empathy against you. That's what Greg chooses, women who are so sensitive. Yeah, I believe it. I definitely believe it. It's very stressful. He's very scary when you're talking to him. Is very scary. Says, Lainey is the type to obsess over people she has shared certain emotions with. You can't really bother her. She is a caring / understanding person. I said, okay, I'll text them then. Thank you, Greg. And then, so he's basically saying, okay, yeah, text her. Like, you can't bug her. You won't annoy her. I'm sorry, them. You won't annoy them. I'm getting, cause the text is when he's still using female pronouns. So I'm getting mixed up. I promise I'm not trying to intentionally misgender Lainey. He says, but she still knows that either way, you're still leaving her. So, I mean, abandoning a potentially beautiful relationship is what you're doing, and she knows that. I said, I hurt them a lot, didn't I? He says, are you not just trying to make yourself... This pissed me off a lot. Okay. Are you not just trying to make yourself feel better? Is that not what this is really about? I wanted to apologize. He just told me that I hurt Lainey, and I'm just this terrible, it made me feel like I'm just this terrible person, and I wanted to apologize. And he's like, oh, you just want to apologize for your own personal gain. What? I said, no, not at all. This isn't going to make me feel better. I just want them to feel better, because I wasn't going to feel better regardless, because I still felt like a piece of shit and I still felt like I had feelings for them. So yeah, I still didn't feel very good about myself. He said, because the damage is done to Lainey, a time machine would fix her, but that's about it, I think. Your gut told you to run, so maybe just let go. I said, so I shouldn't apologize to them. They wouldn't want to hear it probably. I just want them to know I never intended for this. So then he says, you want to feel better about it. Sometimes we do things, and there is no apologizing our way out of feeling bad for it. We just have to live with who we are. Lainey knows you are sorry, but she also feels like you messed with her, unintentionally, but played games without knowing is just the same. Saying sorry is like saying sorry. Saying sorry for this is like saying sorry for breaking someone's window while offering nothing to replace it. The damage is done. You don't fix it. So we just have to move on. I really don't want to read these anymore. Oh, okay. I think this one's already online, but I'll read it. And I think this is the last one I'm going to read, because I really don't. There's still a lot here, but it's just, I'm sick of reading them, and I'd rather move on to a different topic. Are you doing okay? This is all very heavy. Well, my arms are numb still, which I told the girls in our group chat that my arms were numb, so... and they're still numb. So that's probably not a very good thing. You don't have to read anymore, thank God. I really don't want to. I'll read this last part, and then I'm not reading anymore. I think I got the point across. I said, I want them to feel better more than anything. I don't care if it makes me feel better or not. I'm going to feel shitty regardless. And I told you I'm honest. I had every intention to try this. I should have been 100% sure before trying to jump into it instead of thinking I'll just try. So I guess I did unintentionally. You know them more than anyone. If an apology isn't going to make them feel better at all, then I won't try to reach out. Then he says, you have shown more consideration for Lainey just today than her ex-girlfriend had in months. I think you should come up as a friend and we hang out for a couple days. When can you come? No expectations, just seem like a really good person. So now going, after just saying I was just trying to make myself feel better, now I got another invitation to go to Washington. What is happening? He's probably going to contact you after your stream and say what? I'm not lying about anything. If he wants to try to sue me, come after me. Like, whatever. I'm not lying about anything. I'm not saying something happened that didn't happen. I mean, neither did the other girls, so I don't know. This is the thing about the other girls, and I'm going to go into that now, because this is something I've been wanting to say for a while. So, they're wanting to go after Lane and Ayala because they're saying that Lane and Ayala are lying about Sarah. Saying that Sarah didn't tell them those things or whatever. This is the thing, is that there is text after text after text. While we don't have the actual screenshots of what was sent to Lane because her phone got wiped, and it happens. I work in the cellular industry. It happens literally all the time. Text messages get lost. There are multiple texts of Lane telling Sarah to delete things and to get rid of evidence. Multiple telling her to get rid of evidence. At this point, I don't want to sit here and believe that Lainey and Greg are grooming a 14-year-old girl, or had groomed a 14-year-old girl, a 16-year-old girl. Nobody should want to believe that happened. Nobody should, jump on that bandwagon with no evidence of it. But at the same time, there is subtle evidence of it. Things that Sarah said to Lane and Ayala, that's where they're getting their information. No one ever said that that Sarah had a sexual relationship with Lainey. No one ever said that Sarah and Lainey had sex. No one ever said that, nothing like that. What was said is what Sarah told them. So at this point, I feel like instead of Lainey and Greg attacking Ayala and Lane and then putting absolutely crazy allegations against Ayala, saying that Ayala was trying to sleep with Sarah. I mean, that's absolutely insane. That's insane. That's deflection at its finest. The thing is that, I'm sorry, I'm getting, the thing is that, if Sarah lied to Lane and Ayala, because that is where Lane and Ayala got their information, then for Lainey and Greg's sake, and for Ayala and Lainey's sake, she needs to tell the truth and say, yes, I misunderstood something, or whatever. But at the same time, how do you just get the idea that you're going to be a part of a relationship? Which Greg has already admitted that that's what Sarah thought. So how do you, why is it then falling on Lane and Ayala for things that they were told by Sarah? Why not look at Sarah and be like, why did you say these things to these people? Why did you have that impression? And I also don't necessarily feel like Sarah would have that impression for no reason. Why was she sobbing in a bathroom when Lainey was talking to me, but then telling me she was excited to meet me? Like, I don't understand any of it. Sarah might not ever tell the truth, but at the same time, so like, this is the thing. I'm all about holding people accountable, but after my experience with Greg and how manipulative and fucking scary he is, at the same time, I can't really blame her. I can't really blame her for if she's scared to tell the truth. I really don't. After just that tiny, again, guys, my experience was a week and a half. Like, nothing compared to Billy, nothing compared to Maya, nothing compared to Ayala, nothing compared to Sarah, who's still in it, who's still there, but just out of that small little bit that I got, did you ever talk to Sarah? No, I never talked to Sarah. Sarah talked to Lane about me, but I did talk to Sarah once on her stream, and she just said, hey, HAYLEE, I'm excited to meet you, or something like that a long time ago. Random note, you look like Cara, I'm so sorry if I say that right, Delevingne. I think I've gotten that before. I mostly get Taylor Swift. Sarah's 18 now. Yeah, I don't ever want to believe that something that disgusting is going on. This is what the facts are. Greg is manipulative. Greg is predatory on women in general. He looks for women who are emotional. He looks for women who need dependence and not independence. The only thing that, what, LAINEY? Been in contact with her since Sarah was 14. So this is why I don't necessarily like to shit on that too much, is because me and Lane have been friends for a really long time too, and Lane was around that age when I'm a year younger than LAINEY. So I don't think it's as big of a deal to have young friends, but when your husband is who he is, that's when I think it's a little bit of a bigger deal. An optimal, I think that LAINEY isn't blind to Greg's manipulation. Like, they've said it multiple times that he can be very manipulative in the way that he speaks and certain things. But the thing that kind of fucks me up is, like, when Billy was there, they had asked Billy if Billy would stay with them if LAINEY and Greg didn't work out. Like, if Billy would still stay with LAINEY if Greg wasn't in the picture. And so that makes me think that there are times that LAINEY might think about leaving Greg. But again, that's not a conversation that I had personally, so I'm going on hearsay, but at the same time, I trust Billy 100% at this point. Why wasn't, don't defend LAINEY, she is part of the game, why is she having these convos with you, why was she just ignoring you? So LAINEY did have conversations with me at the beginning. LAINEY isn't ignorant to the manipulation. I know that at this point LAINEY is part of the game, but that's part of why this kind of hurts. Like, because that was someone that I idolized for so long. I don't want to believe that they'd permanently be that way forever. But at the same time, if they're really going around their house naked in front of Sarah, what else can I say? Like, that's fucked up. Yeah, that's something else. Billy was a teenager, nor should he insult anyone who is speaking out. So the backlash of, why are you guys just now talking about this? Like, I wasn't a teenager. I was young. I was freshly 21 when all that was happening, but Billy was 18. Maya, I think, was 19. Ayala is a year younger than Billy, so she was 18. She was 17 when everything started. So, like, they're young girls, and there's anxiety that comes with it. And he has a track record of scaring girls off the internet and scaring them from saying anything. So it's like, you don't get to dictate when the girls want to speak or how they want to speak or what they want to say involving their stories. That's not fair. Some of you praise us and say that, thank you for speaking out. You guys are so brave. But then at the same time, want to say that we were trying to get involved for clout or try to get involved for attention and doing things for attention. And it's like, pick one. What do you want? Like, I just privated my accounts. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't make money off this shit. I don't want money off this shit. The second that this stream ends is where my involvement ends. I'm done talking about it. Plus, my story isn't even as big as the other girls. What happened with me is nowhere near what they went through. But just that small bit that I just read you guys, that fucking sucked. Did he harass you after the leaks? Yeah, he made a video. I was thinking about reacting to the video on here, but I don't know if I want to subject myself to it. But some of the things he said in the video, he completely danced around my story and like what I actually said happened, and said that I was a snake, and said that I never really cared about LAINEY, and that I was trying to be LAINEY's friend, which I just proved to you guys that he didn't want me to be Lainey's friend. Lainey didn't want to be friends with me. Lainey talked to me twice after that happened, and once it was because of dysphoria, and the second was because of oh God, I can't even remember. One was because of dysphoria, and the other one was just asking if I was okay. Hmm. Thank you for the likes, guys. I don't know what I honestly don't even know how works, so I don't know what I'll do with any likes. All I do feel bad for Sarah because if she is scared to say the real truth of it all, then I mean that really sucks. And no one should be like attacking Sarah publicly or making fun of her or anything like that. Like she at this point went through her entire teenage years and puberty with these people. So you can't shit on her and then expect her to be open to the idea of realizing maybe the situation that she's in. She's just going to turn away from you guys. I don't know. I think if she sees this stream, she's going to hate me a lot more. She already called me a petty asshole when I came out the first time. But I'm not mad at her for that. I understand why she felt that way. You know, Lainey was someone that she has liked and still likes. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Sarah likes Lainey in a romantic way now. I know that there was. Never mind. I don't know if I should say that. Um. Oh my gosh. Sorry, my dogs. Someone here? If someone breaks in my house and kills me, you guys are my witnesses. Yeah, after this stream, I am cleaning my apartment and I have a date tonight with my wonderful boyfriend, who I love very much. My life is very good right now. I'm very happy in my life, which is why it's very stressful to come back into it. Do I feel a little bit better? I do feel a little bit better. It's still kind of have some high anxiety, but it's okay. I do have a boyfriend. Yeah, wash my hands after this. That's the goal. The only reason why, again, that I've come out again, no matter how small my story is, I know that, again, there's strength in numbers. And I'm not going to name names, but I know that some other girls might be speaking out as well. And so that is something that, you know, we're there for each other. We're banding together and we're there for each other and nothing's going to hurt us, you know. Some guy on the internet, you know, few thousand miles away from me, over a few thousand miles away from me isn't going to do anything. I'm done being scared of him. I was just nervous coming on the stream because I haven't done this in forever. And to be honest, I was kind of more scared of the people watching the stream than them. ONISION is over 2019. I just don't want any of those manipulation tactics to be used on any other girls, including Sarah. And I truly, truly hope that if it is happening to Sarah, that she gets out. I hope that she's got someone in her life that can pull her away from it, just like Ayala pulled Billy away from it. Everyone needs an Ayala in their life. Ayala is a ride or die. Yeah, again, I don't know that this did anything, but I hope that if one girl sees it that could have an interest in them, that this might change your mind or at least plant the seed of you thinking about it before making any decisions to actually go there. And again, I thank God that I didn't. Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Now, because this is the last time I'm speaking about this, do you guys have any questions for me before I get off here? Cade, come here. Quit barking at people. Will your stream be uploaded anywhere after you end it? Sorry, I just got here. I have no idea. I did give permission to someone to record it and post it if they so choose to, but I'm not recording it myself or posting it myself. Did Taylor talk to you after you told her you don't want to be in a relationship with her and Greg? Seems like he only talked to you. No, Lainey did talk to me, but not about that. Lainey messaged me saying that their dysphoria was really bad and asked if I was okay. And that was about it. We didn't talk about anything after that. Oh, the blog's here. I guess it might be uploaded. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, she's very cute. She gives hugs too. You want a hug? What are you doing? You want a hug? Hope you got that recorded. It's good. Oh, and there's more. Okay, so I'm getting swamped with puppies. I am probably gonna go ahead and get off here now. Thank you guys for listening to my story. I really appreciate it. I know it was small, but if any of you watching have also been contacted by Lainey or Greg, please don't be afraid to reach out. We've got a whole group of girls that are just awesome support-wise, and we'll all be there for you. So, all right, now how do I end this thing? Okay. All right, bye guys.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and follow us on Twitter to keep up to date on your favorite streamers. Blarg you later.